Yo, let's dig into these money management tips for music entrepreneurs. So before we dig into this dope info, I want to give you guys a very important principle, right? If you don't learn how to manage the income that you're making now, whatever it is, say it's 30,000 a year. If you don't learn how to manage that, you won't know how to manage 100,000, six figures, seven figures. Like, you won't know. So it's important to get a grasp and get in control of your finances now. Learn how to manage those now, so that when you start to make more money, you'll know how to manage that. It's the same thing. It's just more of it. So if you can manage a small amount, then when the increase comes and you have more, you already know what to do because you've built that foundation with where you are now. Don't wait until you're making six figures a year to start managing your money wisely. Start right now. I don't care if you're making $50 a year, like, manage that $50 like your life depended on it. Now let's dig into this information. Okay, so when me and my wife first got married, we brought unique strengths to the relationship, right? Her strength was budgeting. She had a way that she managed her finances and her monthly expenses it was really good. It was really efficient. However, I think she was like still doing stuff like on paper or like by hand or something like that. My strength is technology, right? And just kind of coming up with systems and things like that. So I created a spreadsheet based on how she managed finances, and we put it together and kind of created what we use today in a way that's functional and can easily be updated as our budget changes. And it's been super dope. Her area of expertise and the way that she did things just really fit well with, just how we do our budget now. So pretty much, before I get into this spreadsheet, the structure of our accounts and how managed flows kind of looks like this. So we have a family checking account, right? This checking account is where all of our income goes into. So, when we had our 9 to 5s, both checks would go direct deposit into this single account. And then we had our individual accounts, right? Our individual checking accounts. And these accounts would be just for like our personal spending money, which is this monthly spending right here. So these are like the three main checking accounts. And then everything else was like some sort of saving account, and then we would kind of title each saving account based on what we were saving for. So it could be a baby account, it could be an account for the dog, an account for house repairs, an account for like rainy day savings, or like emergency fund or whatever. So we just had different accounts so we could see and allocate funds for each thing that could come up. Honestly, like, we have a vacation account, so we know exactly what's set aside for vacation. Like, literally, we just like broke down every possible thing so that, we just have an account for everything. So that's kind of like the backbone, right? So now we get into this sheet that lists out our income. And I'm going to leave a link in the bio. If you guys want this sheet and you think it'll help you, I'll leave a link where you can download it for free in the description. I think I said bio at first. That's not what I meant. I meant to say description if I said bio. If I said description, then that's what I meant. But anyway, so our income is here. So say, I don't know, let's just make up a number, $4,000 a month. I'm gonna just do one income just to make this simple. Obviously, if you have multiple incomes in your house, then you'll just update this accordingly. So we have $4,000 total. Now, when you update this, there's a formula here in this total, and that's going to reflect in this box here automatically when you update that. And then if you know, for example, if you added another stream of income, is going to update as well. So everything is kind of set to kind of automatically update to make things easier for us. So we have 4,000. That's our total income. We haven't listed any expenses yet, but this is where you'll do that. And then this pretty much just tells you how much we have left after expenses to put towards savings and monthly spending. Our total monthly spending plus our total monthly savings should equal this number by the end of, by the end of figuring out everything that you have as far as expenses and income and all that stuff, right? So it should always be that. If that number ever changes, then you have to make an adjustment somewhere. Either you're spending too much somewhere in these expenses, or your savings or spending money, and you just have to adjust it so that these two numbers equal this number here. So every dollar is accounted for. So right here you can update your monthly expenses, whatever they are, and then as you can see, the form is gonna update according to whatever your expenses are. You can just kind of update them however you want, right? All right, so now it's going to show your total monthly expenses, going to show your total income, and you just update that until you get, if this is all your expenses, $1,200 a month, then you have $2,800 extra dollars to put towards whatever you want. Spending money, say you want to have $500 each for spending money. So this, like, for example, this is my checking account. This would be my wife's checking account. So it's $1,000, right? So 1,000 minus 2,800, you got $1,800 left to disperse in these savings. So then you just do the math, however you want to disperse that remaining 1,800, whatever, like, just do it, and then it'll show the total here. You just add it up. Again, the total monthly spending and total monthly savings should equal this over under number. And then this is pretty much the sheet that we use every month. Every other week I'll go and disperse everything. So the system that my wife had was she would set aside half of her expenses and everything, and spending money and everything. She would set aside half every time she got paid, because she got paid bi-weekly, right? So that's 2 times a month. So she would do the first half of her bills and expenses and everything in that first check, and then the second check she would do the second half. Now, when you start off, you want to make sure you kind of have like a month in advance, because you're kind of doing this in advance, right? So the money that you're taking out, say you got paid today, the money that you take out today, that half is actually going towards that next month expenses and things like that. So you're always kind of like a month ahead. If anything happened, you kind of have like an extra built-in month buffer of expenses and things like that. So that's how we do it personally. You may want to make adjustments however you want to do it, but that's how we do it. We saved a month of expenses and bills and whatever, and then we started doing this. Like every paycheck, we would just break it off in half, like our expenses in half, and we still do that. So as you can see here, I have a box where it says bi-weekly. And this is pretty much any account where we need to disperse money to from our main family checking account. I just make note here of how much that is, so that every other week when we get paid, when we had our 9 to 5s, when we get paid, I would know how much to put in each account, in each savings account, in each of our personal checking account for our spending money, in the car gas account. So I knew exactly what was going in every pay period, and then the rest that wasn't getting dispersed and that was just set aside for bills, monthly expenses, would just stay in the family checking. So if there was a direct deposit coming out of family checking, that money would be there, and we would just set all of our bills on autopilot, so that it's paid on time, so we don't have to, we don't risk forgetting to pay a bill or something like that. So it's just on auto draft, and it comes out. And then, of course, if I'm using the credit card, it would be an automatic payment, and then I would go in every pay period, so 2 times a month, and go and make payment and pay that off of the credit card, so that that isn't sitting on there on the credit card for a long time. So this is pretty much what I use every week, just this bi-weekly box to disperse everything. And then, if you work overtime or something like that, and you make more than what your monthly budgeted income is, then that's just extra money, right? So you just make note of what, how much extra that is, and then you can throw it in whatever account you want. If you want to throw a little extra savings in the rainy day or vacation account or spending money, then you have that. But your main monthly expenses and savings and spending money and everything is already covered, because you've met that monthly income that you already have budgeted. So that is, in a nutshell, is kind of how we manage our finances in the home and all of our, just the streams of income. So when we had the 9 to 5, it would say, job 1, job 2, or Tony's job, Ashley's job, or my wife calls me Tony, for those who just got super confused when I said Tony, like, who the heck is Tony? But that's what my wife calls me. But so we have that, job 1, job 2, and then my business income. So that would be that, and then we would kind of have the total of that. But we kind of treated my business income as extra because we had our 9 to 5s to cover all of our expenses. So for the most part, all of the business income was going straight back into the business to help grow it. And that's just how we kind of did things until we transitioned. So now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, as well as my wife, what we do is pretty much now the business income is just replacing what our job was. So we just kind of changed the titles, adjusted the budget, because now we're kind of paying for healthcare and things like that, and benefits and things like that. So we adjusted the budget, but because we have this spreadsheet, it makes it a whole lot easier to do things like that. And that's how we kind of manage things. That's how we budget things. We take that half out every other pay period, or every pay period, which is every other week. And then we create a monthly budget sheet, so we know exactly what our monthly expenses are. We know exactly what we're bringing in every month, and then anything extra goes into whatever we think it should go into for the month. Yo, I know this was a whole lot of information, but hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully it helps you reach the goals that you have with your money management and with your business and things to come. If you liked the video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.